Dear, dear students, in this video we will learn about pollination. First of all, let us have a look at the typical flower. Here in front of you, you can see a flower. It has got four major parts. The first one is calyx, also known as sepal, a green part that covers the petal or petals known as corolla. The third part is known as gynoecium or carpels. It contains stigma, style, ovary. The fourth part is androecium, that is the male part, whereas the gynoecium is the female part. Stamens contain anther and filament. The anther produces pollen grains and it gets transferred to stigma. The transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma is known as pollination. There are two kinds of pollination. The first one is self-pollination. The second one is cross-pollination. We will study about the differences between self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination. When the pollen grain gets transferred from anther to stigma of the same flower or on different flower of the same plant, it is known as self-pollination. Cross-pollination. Cross-pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the anther of a flower to the stigma of another flower in a different plant of same or different species. Self-pollination versus cross-pollination. Self-pollination occurs within a flower or between two flowers of the same plant. Cross-pollination occurs between two flowers borne on different plants of the same species. In self-pollination, flowers do not depend on other agencies for pollination. In cross-pollination, agents such as insects, water, and wind are required for pollination. Self-pollination. In self-pollination, pollen grains are produced in a smaller number. In cross-pollination, the pollen grains are produced in large numbers. In self-pollination, there is no wastage of pollen grains and thus it is economical. In cross-pollination, there is some wastage and hence uneconomical. Advantages of self-pollination. Self-pollination, being almost certain in bisexual flower, ensures the continuity of the race. Self-pollination helps to preserve the parental characters as the gametes from the same flower are involved. It is economical as the plants do not have to produce pollen grains in large quantity. Flowers need not to be showy, nor they need to produce nectar or scent. Disadvantages. New varieties cannot be obtained by self-pollination. The genetic defects of the breed cannot be removed. Repeated self-pollination leads to loss of vigor and vitality of the species. Seeds produced are smaller and weaker. Advantages of cross-pollination. Cross-pollination results in healthier offsprings. Seeds produced by cross-pollination have much better germinating capacity. More abundant and viable seeds are produced. Disadvantages of cross-pollination. Plants have to depend on external agencies for pollination, which may or may not be available at the proper time. The pollen grains have to be produced in large quantity to ensure pollination, thus lot of pollen is wasted. This process is less economical as various devices have to be adopted by the flowers to attract pollinating agents, like the flowers have to be large, colored, showy, scented, and nectar producing. In this way, we studied about what pollination is, what are the differences between self-pollination and cross-pollination, what are their advantages and disadvantages. Thank you. Keep watching.